Episode 0, a new show, South Philly, Avenue Steaks, fair but firm, with the great friend Larry Flowers. How you doing, bro?
My boy. This is exciting. Very, 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 very exciting. First of all, nice to be home. I love coming back home to Philadelphia. This is a massive week. With a job at my trip. Obviously, I booked a flight when the Phillies were up 2-0.
You cursed Siley.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that, but I mean, maybe I did. I'm coming back no matter what for Eagles Cowboys. Like, that's just what I do. I come home every year, Eagles Cowboys. This is a national holiday in the city of Philadelphia. We despise the Cowboys, and it is absolutely beautiful out. But obviously, I came back to for the World Series. That got kiboshed, but now we're here together. We're doing this podcast. Very exciting.
Why are we here? Why are we in Avenue Steak? Why this place for your first episode?
Yeah, for firm. So we discussed, obviously, a bunch of different possibilities of where we want to do the first episode, and I thought there's no better place than here at Avenue Steaks, right here in South Philly. One of my best boys, Justin Postiglione, we call him Posty, owns the spot. Top of the line cheesesteaks, pizza, food. It's become, part of our world. Me and my group of friends. And the food's unbelievable.
The place is fantastic. It's great to be here. Honestly, Larry and I met, because I'm probably Chicklets and Mr. Curfew, and I DM'd you, say, hey, come on my podcast. So Larry comes on my pod. We hit it off. We met. We've been talking for years now, but we met for the first time this week. I think great.
Yeah.
And I saw you at Sex last week, and I'm like, I mean, you need your own show. You're like, who's going to listen? I'm like, it doesn't matter. You have great content. We have all these great friends. Let's showcase everybody and have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, O'Brien says that to me all the time. He's always like, Flowers, you should have your own podcast. And in reality, I mean, listen, it's not like I don't have somewhat of a name out there, but who really is going to listen to my podcast? But it's more about me trying to express myself in certain situations. I've got some hard opinions on a lot of things. I love sports. I got a lot to talk about. My business, lifestyle. I've traveled. I've got some good stories to tell. So you came to me and said, Flowers, you should have your own podcast. And kind of something just clicked. And I said, fuck it, let's do it.
You got this great group of friends and this great network for your business and watches, jewelry, and then the sports world, and then Philly, and kind of everything in between.
Yeah.
What can people expect guest-wise for yourself?
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt I'll be able to get some of my best friends who are all ex-NHL guys, current NHL guys, other pro athletes, entertainers, actors and whatnot, and then business owners and people like-minded that have that I consider to have great lifestyles, that are people that I look up to. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have some really cool and interesting guests.
I love it, man. So let's see, we're in Philly.
Yep.
You're from Philly.
Yep.
Dive into kind of your early part of your life growing up in and around the city.
Yeah, so I'm a Northeast Philly guy. George Washington High School, graduated high school with Kevin Hart. If you ever heard of that guy? I still think I'm funnier, but clearly not.
Larry sells watches, folks. And you don't set the time on the watch. I asked you what time it was, and you had to go to your phone.
It's true. I travel so much. I'm always different time zones. It's like, it's so hard to...
It's a bullshit excuse.
Who? Let me ask you a question. Even people with watches, when someone says what time is it, aren't you naturally just go to your phone? Isn't that easier?
No, you look at your wrist.
I'm the only watch dealer probably in the world that sells high-end watch dealer that doesn't set his time on his watch
at a certain time every time? Or
no, I just find it at. Whatever I feel like wearing, it just goes on. Whatever time it is, that's the time.
All right, so before we dive into these cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I'm Northeast Philly guy, George Washington High School. Went to Pitt, University of Pittsburgh for college. Came back here and eventually moved out to California. I've been in California, LA, 21 years. But I come back to Philly all the time. Philly is a big part of my life. I spend my summers down in Margate, New Jersey, which is a big part of my life. And listen, I'm a Philly guy through and through. It's a very, very special place here, blue collar, which is what I love. Some of my best friends and family are all still here. And I come back for a lot of Eagles games and Flyers games and Phillies, obviously. It's just, coming home. For people that don't understand Philadelphia, it's a very, very, it's a big city, but it's a very tight-knit community. It really is. It's a special place, especially South Philly. Yeah, I mean, old school, lots of culture. I love coming home, and especially for a game like this, Eagles Cowboys. There's nothing better. If you want to go see a sporting event, and you're not a Philly guy, check out an Eagles Cowboys game in Philly. It's very special.
And you're talking on my show. like this, how cool it is that everything's in South Philly, all the stadiums. Like yesterday, the Temple game was at 2. The Sixers game's at 1. Temple game's at 2. Flyers are at 7:30.
Yep.
It was supposed to be Game 7 of the World Series, and it would have been in Philly. That would have been nuts. Today's the Eagles game. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience. The way they have the stadium set up in South Philly is very unique. A lot of the pro athlete friends of mine that have been in and out of this city have all told me they love the feel and the vibe of the way the stadiums are set up in Philly. It's just a special space, a special place, man.
All right, so like I said, before we dive into these cheesesteaks, talk about your business.
Yeah.
What you do, how long you've been doing it, your passion.
Yeah, I've been the high-end luxury watch and diamond custom jewelry world for 13 years now. My office is downtown LA in the Diamond District. Specialize in high-end watches, Rolex, AP, Pateks, RMs, and other brands. Engagement rings. I take a lot of pride in making sure my clients get the absolute best for their money. Good quality diamonds, direct wholesale, custom jewelry, everything made from scratch, designer quality. That's my business. I'm a hit singles, ask for referrals kind of guy. I've been building my business that way for a long time, especially through like the NHL world and the pro athlete world. Guys that have come to me with their business, and obviously I got very lucky with a big story here with the St. Louis Blues that started here in South Philly, and that catapulted my business to another level because now it took me outside of just the pro athlete world as far as clients are concerned, and introduced me to a whole network of people nationwide that are just guys that love, hockey or sports that learned who I was, and my business exploded from there. I'm grateful for it every day. It was a blessing considering some of my downfalls from before that happened, and that's a crazy story in itself. Yeah, things have been great.
So as you can see, Larry's teasing a lot of things. We'll get to them in a little bit. We're going to eat these cheesesteaks. Jack's going to bring them in.
Yes.
Great job, Jack. Great offer. We bring them in. We appreciate it.
Only way now, dude.
You're the best. You're the best.
Wow.
Wiz.
Yep, Wiz American. That's my onion.
Okay.
Boom. I go no fried onions. I don't know why, because I like onions.
It adds flavor.
It does. I don't know why. I've never been a big wit guy.
I mean, listen, the Cooper Sharp, look at this thing.
Yeah, that's serious.
What is that?
Can I say something here? I don't work at Avenue. I love Avenue. Obviously, they're like family. But let me tell you something. When they first opened up, you know what they did? Justin took me upstairs, and he said, "Listen, we get really top of the line good ribeye meat, right?" Mm-hmm. And he goes, "But we don't get it frozen, prepackaged, and all that stuff that a lot of places do." He says, "Come upstairs. I want to show you something." Takes me upstairs here, and there's one of the employees upstairs by hand shaving a full ribeye by hand, and it's real work. I mean, it is hard work. They put the effort. The bread is unbelievable. This is the elite cheesesteak.
You want to see the roll? I mean, whatever. I mean, nothing better than the South Philly meme. So, like, it worked out great that we're here to do the show. Oh, my God. Dude.
Thought. The mixed cheese. The American with the Wiz? Wow. Wow.
Sean, you know what I'm thinking?
Brutal podcasting if you're driving in the car right now. But if you're watching on YouTube, with all Larry shows, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching on all our social medias, follow Fair But Firm, follow Larry. Follow Not For Long Media for updates. All right, Larry. It's time. We got to hear the Jack story before we wrap up episode 0, because that's how we met. That seals the deal. That's the Cooper Sharp with the fried onions for me, the Mecca, because that's created a whole nother world for you. I don't even know where to say.
Yeah, that
incredible story.
On another episode, we'll backtrack and kind of talk about where I was before that happened, because it's important. But I had the St. Louis Blues in town, dead last in the NHL, picked by a lot of NHL writers to win the Stanley Cup that year. Fighting in 2019. Oh yeah. Bortuzzo was grabbing guys. Who's a good friend of mine. A lot of frustrations in the locker room. They were dead last in the NHL, and I mean dead last. And it's hard to climb out of the cellar like that in the NHL if you're that far behind. But anyways, about midway through the season, guys come to Philly. I happen to be here. Eagles are playing the Bears in the playoff game, and I call my guys on the Blues. I say, hey, listen, let me throw get together here for you guys. And see if you guys can get out, watch the Eagles game with us. I'll set up a party. It'll be great. And in reality, it was Posty that owns Avenue Steaks. Justin is the one, because he's a member at Jack's social club. He set it up, and they really went all out, catered everything. All the moms and the wives, they all cooked all this beautiful Italian food, DJ, the whole 9-yard, big bar. It was great. So anyway, all my guys said, well, there was about 7 guys on the Blues. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to come. Why not? Right? They played the Flyers the next night. So they come, they're on their way, and I'm getting text messages from the guys like, hey, we think we're lost. Are we safe around here? The guys were scared. They're Canadian guys. They don't know South Philly. So, but anyway, they show up, and they walk in, and Hilo is welcome. They walk in. The place goes absolutely bananas. It was really magical. And then we had an amazing night. We were all sitting around the bar. It was a lot of energy. It was a lot of people. It was packed. DJ's playing music. And, in South Philly, they love that old, disco, 70s music. It's just a kind of a vibe of, South Philly. That's kind of what we still listen to. And the song Gloria by Laura Branigan was playing, and me and Steiner are sitting at the bar, Alex Steen, and we're sitting at the bar, and we're kind of, he's kind of just looking down and a little bit upset, talking about the unfortunate season they're having. And we look over to the right, and Fabri's yelling. He loves the song. He's a young kid. He's like 22, 23 years old, young kid. And he's yelling, play Gloria, play Gloria. He wants to hear it again because he loves the song. He's never heard it before. And we look over, look at Babs, look at how funny he is. And Steiner, just as a joke, says, if we win tomorrow, I'll play this stupid song in the locker room. And we laughed it off, and we didn't think twice about it. Fast forward to the next night. We had a great night, by the way. Fast forward to the next night. Flyers play the Blues. Jordan Binnington's first game as an NHL goalie, and the Blues win 3-0 shutout. They go back to the locker room after the game, and they're playing the song in the locker room. And I'm on the group chat with all the guys, and they send me videos with the song going, and they're laughing and whatever. Next game goes, they win again. They start playing the song again. Next game goes, they win again. They play the song again, and now it's getting a little bit of legs. They have some shirts. They're wearing shirts. They're sending me pictures. I'm sending them to the guys. I'm sending them to, all my boys at, Biz, Paul Bizanet, and that's Shane O'Brien.
Pick up a little bit play Gloria. Play Gloria.
Well, play Gloria was the theme. Play Gloria. Play Gloria.
They won 10 games in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fast forward. Now they're climbing out of the cellar, and this story is getting steam, and Paul Bizanet and Ryan Whitney from Spittin' Chicklets reach out to me, and they're like, hey, Flowers, I don't know what's going on with the story, but it's got legs. You want to come on the pod and talk about it? I said, of course. So I go on Spittin' Chicklets. Bortuzzo and I told the story, and they just kept winning and winning and winning. And obviously anybody that remembers the story, they trail into the playoffs or just barely get in the playoffs, and they go on a fucking tear. And they go on a major league, all-time legendary folk legend type tear that the NHL has not ever seen. Maybe a couple times it's happened in history the way it happened for the Blues, but they go on a full-blown tear, and they get to Game 7, Western Conference Finals. They win that. Then they get to Game 7 in Boston at the Garden against the Bruins, and they blew out the Bruins in Game 7, win their first Stanley Cup, and then they kept me for the entire ride, traveling back and forth. They put me in the parade. I'm literally on a float in the parade. Me and Bortuzzo are on our own float.
Ryder Cup trip.
Steiner put together. I mean, we're going back and forth. I'm on the private jet with the whole team. We all go to Vegas, the whole entire team on another big, gigantic.
Wasn't there a seat issue on the plane?
Yeah, that's a great story. We're in the locker room, right, at Enterprise Center before the parade. And I was next to one of the guys, and we were sharing, we had stalls next to each other. And we go to the parade, and at the end of the parade, we all go on stage and under the arch in front of 1.5 million people where I raised the cup. They all hand me a cup. I have the best picture I'll ever take in my life. And we go back into Enterprise, and we're all getting showered and jumping in a cold plunge and getting dressed and everything. And I grab my gear, I get dressed, grab my wallet. Everyone goes to their plane because we're taking a plane straight from there right to Vegas. So,
unbelievable.
So we're on this plane, and all of a sudden the captain, everyone's on the plane, and the captain comes to the back, and Steiner was basically like the captain, right? So then he says to Steiner, hey, I'm sorry, but there's one too many people on this plane. Someone's got to get off.
Oh,
right? And it was because they didn't even think to put me on the list. I wasn't on the list. Steiner looks at me, looks at everyone and says, I got this. So he walks to the front of the plane. We see him leaning over. He's talking to the 3 guys in charge of the cup. That manage the cup, traveling all over the country with it. And you see him leaning over. He's looking, and he gives one of those look backs, like, like things are gonna be all right. All of a sudden, I guess the 3rd man on the totem pole that's in charge of the cup just stands up and walks off the plane. I guess he punted him, made him get on like a Southwest flight to Vegas, which made a seat for me. Now, which was incredible. The whole plane erupts. Everyone's dying laughing. We're eating pastas and veal and everything out of the cup. Cup's going around. We got all this Italian food on the plane. And then, anyway, we're about to take off, and one of the guys on the team says, someone stole my wallet. Someone stole my wallet. Well, what do you mean someone stole your wallet? And we're all kind of looking around, and he said, yeah, someone stole my wallet from my stall. And we can't take off because he doesn't have his ID. They were collecting IDs. So now it's another drama. And we're all sitting around like, what the fuck is going on? Did I ever tell you this? No. This is incredible. So we're all sitting around, and I'm sitting there by myself, and I'm thinking, could you imagine if I, for some reason, had his wallet, and everyone thought that I stole his wallet, but I would never take his wallet, and I don't have his wallet, so why am I even thinking this? But I was just so nervous, like, the experience that I'm having, like, what could go wrong? This is so beautiful. It's such a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Something is going to fuck this up. I'm not this lucky. And sure as shit, I reach in my pocket, and I pull out my wallet. It's this wallet, and I go, this is my wallet. Thank God. I'm off the hook, right? And then I open it, and it wasn't mine. It was his. And I go, oh my God. And everyone's looking at me. And I'm like, they don't think I stole it, but they're like, we got to get to the bottom of this. Wow, what's going on? And they're looking at me, and I'm like, I go in my side pocket, and I pull out the same exact wallet, which was mine. So I saw this wallet on the stall when we were getting dressed, and it's the same wallet as mine. So I didn't know mine was in my pocket. I picked his up, put it in my back pocket, and took off. So we both have the same wallets. The plane absolutely erupts in laughter. Wheels up about 10 minutes later. We're boozing all the way to Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Wow. It was a fucking incredible trip. It was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. It changed my life. That whole story changed my life. I went on some seriously hard times, losing one of my best friends to mental illness, and which affected my business at the time drastically. Pretty much lost almost everything, and then that story happens, completely changes my life, bringing me back from the depths of hell, literally, and now we're here chopping it up on the podcast.
Fair but Firm with Larry Flowers, brought to you by Non-Film Media. You're getting just a glimpse of what some of the stories are going to be. Larry is an open book.
Yeah, no, and you know what? If you want to close with this, fair but firm is something that I've always used. That slogan, that saying is something I've used my entire life. I'm very opinionated, but I believe in what, I believe in what I believe is right. I'm a right over wrong kind of guy. I believe in good over evil. I really do. I am a fair but firm guy, and that slogan comes from, I'm a big boxing guy. Growing up, watched boxing my whole life, my dad and I. And there was a referee, great referee, he's a Hall of Fame referee. His name was Joe Cortez. Incredible guy. And, before every fight, fighters would come together. Guys, I expect a good, clean fight. No rabbit punches, no low blows, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys, good luck to yourselves. And remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. And as a kid, I always used to remember Joe Cortez saying that. And it's such a powerful statement. I'm fair, but I'm firm. Meaning, a young man like myself always got the best out of teachers and coaches that were really hard on me, but that loved me. They were fair but firm with me. I've always tried to live my life as a fair but firm kind of guy. And so here we have it.
There it is, episode 0, Fair but Firm. Excited to have you in Non-Film Media, bro.
My boy. Go Birds. 101.